Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. There's always room for. My name is Kim and today we're back in my craft room and I have a craft in mind that I hope will work out, so I figured I would film the process along the way to hopefully make this into a tutorial for you guys if you decide you want to give this a shot. So for those of you that don't know, my twin sister is getting married this year. She's having a small church ceremony this June, and next year she's gonna have the bigger reception. So because of COVID, I'm going to be the only one standing up beside her at the altar, aside from her fiance, but she won't have the remainder of her 10 bridesmaids up there with her on her special day. So I came up with an idea that I hope will turn out okay, so she can have a little bit of her bridesmaids with her at the altar. So my idea is to hand stitch all of the bridesmaids' signatures onto a handkerchief. So I ordered these handkerchiefs off of Amazon, and thankfully these came in packs of 6, so that if I happen to mess up, which is highly likely, I will be able to restart this. An idea of actually using my sewing machine and embroidering this on came to mind, but I know that a lot of you don't have, a fancy sewing machine, so I figured I would try to hand stitch this. I don't know if anyone out there still cross stitches, but I used to cross stitch a project every summer when I was growing up. It was something my mom did. She'd take us to the craft store and let us pick out one project, and we had to finish it in the summertime before school started again. So this is bringing back major summer cross stitching vibes. So what I ended up doing was picking up an embroidery hoop. I think that's what these are called. Bamboo hoop. Yeah. So I'm going to be placing the handkerchief onto here, and then I'm going to be hand stitching the signatures. So what I've done was I've texted all of the bridesmaids and asked them to send me a picture or a digital image of their signature. And what I'm hoping to do is to kind of lay them out on a sheet of paper and then trace them onto the handkerchief, and then sew on top of that with some embroidery floss. So it's going to be a little bit like cross stitching, except there's really no pattern to follow. I'm just going to be tracing over the signatures. I don't know how this is going to turn out. I hope it comes out okay, because this would be such a nice special gift for my sister, and it'd be nice to have a little piece of her bridesmaids with her on her special day. So if you'd like to see me attempt to turn this concept into reality, follow along. If you're new here, please subscribe to my channel and hit the thumbs up button if you like this video. Let's get started. This idea would also work great if you wanted to use signatures or quotes from a loved one that is passed, or even one that is still with us. Once you get the concept of this craft, it's easy to customize this to make it meaningful for your intended recipient. The first step is to compile your signatures. I found that it was easiest to ask my friends to handwrite them onto a piece of paper and take a picture of them. I could have also asked for digital signatures, which would have made things slightly easier for me, but I was in a time crunch and I knew this would be the quickest way to get everyone to participate. Once you have all the signatures, use your favorite editing platform to lay them all out onto an 8x8 inch document. Take your time and play around with the sizes and arrangement of everything. You can also edit each photo to increase the contrast and make the signature darker and more legible. I thought it would be nice to have the handkerchiefs say, "For happy tears." I've seen this on handkerchiefs meant for gifts to the mother or father of the bride. Looking back, I wish I made each signature larger, especially ones that contain the letter M in them, because the smaller the signatures were, the less space I had to work with when I was sewing the letters in. My advice would be to take up more space and make the signatures slightly larger than you'd actually like them to be. Once you're happy with the layout, print out the document on plain white printer paper. Then, take a fine point Sharpie or felt tip pen and trace over the signatures to make them even darker and more bold. Next, place the handkerchief on top of the printed paper and begin to lightly trace the signatures onto the handkerchief using a pencil. Be sure to remove the handkerchief every so often to make sure you're tracing each signature fully. Then, place the handkerchief into the embroidery hoop. Choose which color of embroidery floss you want to use. I initially considered using a different color for each name, but ultimately decided to keep it monochrome in blue. I cut about a 12-inch piece of embroidery floss and then separated the threads, taking 2 of the threads and knotting on one end. You can use anywhere between 1 and 3 threads, but I found that 2 was just right. Then begin stitching. I like to stitch in the direction that I would go as if I was handwriting the signature. I found that it was easiest to backstitch and made each stitch as even in length as possible. When I got to the curves, I made smaller stitches, but for the most part each stitch was the same length. To backstitch, place the needle behind the front of the fabric and pierce through, starting 1 stitch length away from where you'd like the stitching to actually begin. Then, pierce through the fabric, bringing your needle to the back again to create your first stitch on the front. Continue this for the entire length of the signature. When each name is done, knot off the end, trim off the excess thread, and start again. Repeat until every name is stitched. Remove the handkerchief from the embroidery hoop and iron carefully to remove any creases. So here's the completed handkerchief. This is the back view, so you can read it this way, and this is the front. I really love that the crocheted lace here at the bottom complements like the rustic look of the hand stitching that I did. I think this is just such a pretty little keepsake my sister will be able to have. And I'm actually really glad that I bought a pack of 6 handkerchiefs because I know I'm going to need a handkerchief on my sister's wedding day because I'm already getting emotional. These are all of our best friends on this handkerchief. You guys, we're such an emotional duo, me and my sister. It's kind of funny, all of our friends laugh about it and they make fun of us because if anyone's gonna make a happy announcement, they know to get the tissues ready because the twins are going to cry. I'm just really happy for my sister. I'm so excited that it's her turn. We've spoiled all of our friends in the past and it is our turn to spoil her in return. And that is a wrap on my tutorial for this hand-stitched handkerchief. I hope you guys enjoyed this tutorial and that you'll make this for a future bride-to-be. Thanks so much for tuning in and following along. My name is Kim, and don't forget, there is always room for crafting. I'll see you guys next time. Bye. Well, the good thing is it's a surprise. She has no idea. The only people that know about this are her bridesmaids, so if it doesn't work out, it's not a huge deal. But it will be to me.